Good evening. My name is Renee Weiser, and I am a counselor for the domestic violence program here in Union County. I've been a domestic violence counselor for the last 30 years. Tonight, we're going to be discussing some ways in which I can help you to overcome any issues that you feel are triggering you to, um, you know, become violent towards your domestic partner or your spouse. This What I'm going to do is ask for your names, and you can just give me your first name. We're going to just keep it on the first name basis. And because you've each been sent here from the Union County Department of Probation, it is mandatory that you're here tonight. So I would appreciate your cooperation so we can go ahead and get through this meeting um, within a half hour. Um, we will be meeting every Thursday for the next 6 weeks. Um, for a half hour each time. If you do not feel that you'll be able to make it to the meeting, I would appreciate if you give me a call ahead of time. Again, this is mandatory by the state of North Carolina Union County Probation Department. To begin, I'm going to go ahead and ask you your name
Sherman Garland.
and your name.
Derek Taylor.
Okay. Nice to meet you, one of you.
Nice to meet you too.
Well, so you know why you are here, okay? And what I like to do is get a little history. What we talk about in here, it remains here, okay? I do have to fill out a report and let them know the end result of each one of our meetings. So I just want you to know that besides my supervisor and in the probation department, your information is secure. Now, oftentimes when people become abusive, it starts maybe from childhood or it could begin as you got older. I'm not sure what your two situation is. I know at this point it's considered alleged um, spousal abuse. So I like to get a little bit of history from you, and if you can tell me, Sherman, how did you become at this point in your life?
This is a bunch of crap. I'm only here because the court said I had to come.
I understand that, Mr. Derek.
But she hit me first, and they just didn't believe me. She bit me. Look right there. See the mark?
Yes.
But I don't think I beat on her. I just pushed her,
Okay.
and she caught the cops. I'm
Well,
not a woman beater.
we'll get to that in just a moment, okay? First, I want to hear from Mr. Sherman. I'd like to know when was the first time you had allegedly hit Kathy? Is she your wife, your girlfriend?
She's my wife.
She's your wife? How long have you
Yes.
been married?
Been married 3 years.
3 years?
Yes.
Do you have any children?
Yes, we have 4 kids together.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to know is
4 kids in 3 years? You was working it.
what I would like to know is how was your childhood? Was there any violence in the home?
That was a little bit.
Did you live with your mom and father?
I live just my mom.
Just your mom. So you didn't see any type of physical or verbal abuse going on during the time that you were growing up?
No, not in my house.
Okay, so when do you think that you first began becoming violent or, physically or verbally abusive towards Kathy?
When she first hit me.
She hit you?
Yes.
Okay,
See,
and
that's what I'm talking about. These women always hit first, don't they?
okay. Well, it's not right to either side to hit
I
either
know that, but I
person.
think they should be sitting here too.
Well, that's true. That's true. But usually, I mean, things have changed, and now men are able to file domestic violence charges against their spouses or their significant other.
Okay.
However, what we're going to do right now is deal with the situations that you guys are here for, okay?
But
And
wait a minute. Let me just stop you right there. You're a police officer, and I call you. I'm a 6 foot two, 270 pound man, and my girlfriend is 5'1", 122 pounds. I call you and say she hit me. You're gonna laugh at me, cause the
No,
last cops did that. I called the first time.
no. Since 2010, the police are more equipped with handling domestic violence situations. If they are able to determine that this is true, that she hit you, they will take her out of the house. It's not that they're going to go just because you're a male or the biggest person anymore. That was years ago. Things have changed.
Mm.
And the police are now equipped to handle domestic violence situations a lot more, you know, efficient or effective than they did back in the 1990s and the 80s.
Yeah, they can stay out of Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, that's another issue there. So Sherman, we still need to get to your situation.
Yeah, so one day we started arguing about the food we were gonna eat, and she threw the food out, looked at me and slapped me in the face.
Can have you talk just a little bit louder for me?
Yes, we were trying to decide what to eat for dinner. I didn't like what she made, so she threw it out, slapped me in the face after, so I hit her.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
and
did
I liked it.
you liked it
Yes,
when she hit you?
when I hit her.
You liked it when you hit her?
Yes, because I felt like we got back even.
Was that humiliating?
Yeah, it was very humiliating. Yeah. But it
Okay.
wasn't humiliating after I hit her.
It wasn't. But is that the charges that brought you here today?
Yes.
So what we need to do is talk about whether or not, I'm not gonna say whether it's worth it, but is there anything that you could have done differently?
Yes, I could have not hit her and talked to her over it, but it's too late now, so
Okay. So what I would be curious to know is there any verbal abuse going on in your home?
yes, there's a lot of verbal abuse.
And who is that? Who's the initiator of the verbal abuse?
She is.
Okay. And, okay. And are your children around during
Yes,
these times?
yes. I have 4 kids. None of the one are always around. Yes.
Okay. All right. So this evening we're going to discuss some ways in which, you know, rather than have triggers, things that set you off, we're going to talk about things that you can do to avoid confrontation, verbal abuse, or physical abuse. Especially, you don't want this to become um, you know, a pattern that your children, you know, see and think that it's okay. Okay. So, Mr. Derek, how are you this evening?
I'm good.
Uh, Can we discuss a little bit of your history?
Yeah. What do you want to know?
I want to know what brought you here today.
Well, I'm accused of hitting my girlfriend.
Okay.
So, like I said, she attacked me and I pushed her. When the cops came, she said I hit her. I'm the one with the mark. They looked at me and my size and said, "You must have hit her." And they made me leave the house. The house that said my name. I pay the bills. That heifer don't work.
That's understandable.
And it was humiliating to me. So uh, that's how I got here. I don't hit women. I went through that with my mom and dad. My dad used to beat the hell out of my mom,
Right.
and I didn't like it.
Right.
So I just held it to defend myself. But yet I'm still here.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, apparently there was a misunderstanding. I don't know the details,
Mm,
but like I said before, if the police come out and they see that the situation is not initiated by you, they
yeah.
usually won't take you. So, has your spouse ever called the police on you previously?
Actually, I was the one that called the police, and I'm the one sitting here.
Okay. Okay.
I've done everything I could to avoid the situation. I've walked away. She stabbed my tires. She broke my car window. She needs counseling, not me.
Okay.
Right?
Is this
Yeah,
okay?
I agree.
Well, and then what I would suggest at this point is that you may want to start having things documented. I mean, is this a relationship that you plan on staying in? Do you guys have children together?
Yeah, we have children together, but you know what? I don't even know if it's worth it.
Well, like I said previously, battery or assault to anyone
I've
is
never had
never.
anything like that on my record till now,
Yes.
and it's just really screwing me up.
And you went to court, and,
Yeah, yeah.
but you
And
have not.
I'm going through all the
Like,
processes of
still on.
everything to redeem myself and get out of this situation. But it's hard. Anything you can do to suggest how I can fix this?
Absolutely. That's why you're here today.
Okay.
So we can try to work things out, work on any triggers. But as you said, that this situation is not initiated by you, and that you're not the abuser. You're just the alleged abuser. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you in touch with um, someone that I know that's a lieutenant over at the Union County Police Department, and maybe you could sit down with them. I do know that oftentimes men don't report abuse because they think it makes them look weak.
Right.
It makes them, they think that people are not going to believe them.
Hmm.
But that's not how it is.
You know, I woke up one morning and she was standing over me with a knife.
Oh my.
Yeah. I think I think the situation should be we should both be in counseling together, or else this won't work.
Or have you ever suggested counseling before?
Yeah, she hit me with a rock.
Oh, wow. That's not cute.
See the scar right there?
Yes.
Excuse me. Ooh.
Well, I mean, now that you're talking about it a little bit and it has been disclosed, how are you feeling? Are you feeling optimistic that
No, I
things will
feel
get a little better?
embarrassed.
Embarrassed?
Yeah.
But don't be embarrassed.
Maybe I could bring her to this counseling session and this is a group session, isn't it?
It's a group session, but unfortunately, it's not open, meaning it's not open to,
Oh,
others. Only those that have been deemed by the court as on a mandatory basis.
oh.
Okay. Now, what you would have to do is to get a um, domestic or a counselor that handles relationships, okay? And maybe they can work with you from there. But what I'm supposed to do today and in the next 5 weeks is to work on whether or not there's any anger issues, um, methods to control anger, um, things that you can do that won't trigger you to want to be violent or verbally abusive.
Never been violent a day in my life. What's your name again?
My name is Renee Weiser.
Miss Weiser. I've never been violent a day in my life. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if it's worth it. But you're kind of cute.
It's definitely worth it. And I have to stay professional. Thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do today, I'm going to give you a few techniques to try. Okay? I don't know what triggers you when you get angry. When you get angry, Sherman. Um, but what I would suggest is that you have to think about yourself, your family, and maybe the repercussions. And what you may want to do is maybe take a walk. Um,
That sounds good.
yeah, take a walk. Maybe do you keep a journal?
Yeah.
You do. You may want to write in your journal, and in the meantime, you may want to. Is this a relationship that you want to sustain?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to suggest is that you guys get into counseling together, marital counseling. But in the meantime, I want you to take different these 3 steps, which is to know your triggers, to rather than blow up, calm down, maybe walk away. And what I'm gonna do is give you an assignment, and I like for you to just release things that occurred from the time that you were, let's say, 12. until 20, if you can remember back. Whether or not there was anything that could have possibly stayed within you that does cause you to get angry. Because you know that communication is key, and communication does not go one way. Um, and there's things that you can do to avoid having arguments, like, for instance, compromising. So that's just a few things I want you to work on. And as far as you go, Mr. Derek, what I would like for you to do, again, I said, is to get into counseling with your spouse. Um, maybe keep a journal and write down some of your feelings, because even though you're not the abuser, there could be things within you as a result of your parents having a physical um, abusive relationship that could, I'm not saying that it's okay, but it could
It could be
attract it. It
festering
could
inside me.
it could attract that type of abuse.
So what you're saying is I should keep a journal and write down positive things that will take me out of the situation and ways that I can avoid being
Abused,
ways that I can avoid losing my temper and
of course,
her losing her temper.
yes,
Okay.
and maybe communicating, talking things out. And the reason why I say keep a journal is you want to go back to maybe, let's say, 15 years. Okay, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
45.
Okay, so you may want to go back a bit longer. Excuse me. You may want to go back to the time you were about. When can you remember your parents, fighting? How far back do you remember?
Mm. I don't know, I was a little kid, maybe I was 8 or 9. But they didn't do it all the time. It was
Okay.
like every so often. Well, my dad would pop my mom, you know. And I guess back then, women, they get popped, well, it was nothing, you know. But, I mean, not come to think of it, as I grew older, it stopped. I guess because he was scared of me. I was bigger than him.
Yes.
And I always approached him about hitting my mom. So, I mean, it eventually stopped. He didn't do it anymore. Not in front of me at least.
I'm
You
just
know.
wondering if you think that, seeing that type of abuse, if it was okay. Um,
No, I always protected my
Normal.
mom. You have the prettiest blue
Thank you.
eyes, Miss Weiser.
I'm trying to figure out whether or not you think that that's normal to be abused
No, I
in a
don't think it's normal.
relationship,
No.
and maybe that's why you have never actually went through with reporting any physical
Well,
or
I didn't
verbal
want to look
abuse.
like a big punk.
Well, that's understandable, but you wouldn't look other than a man. Um,
Well, everybody's
asking
not
for a
as
question.
understanding as you are.
Well, that's true. But you have to
First
understand.
time I reported it, the two cops that showed up, they was making jokes about it. She hit you? That
Right.
was
Well,
embarrassing.
yeah, I can understand
That
that.
could deter you from reporting it again.
Right.
So what do I do about that?
Well, you just stand your ground.
You don't think I should get their badge numbers and report them for me actually filling out a police report and them taking it as a
Oh,
joke?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, document it. But what I would suggest again is that you go ahead and keep a journal
Hmm.
and try to reflect back to the time that you were probably, let's say, 15. See whether or not from the time you were 15 till now, if you felt like this was normal. I think that I can't really say for you because we still need to do a little bit more talking and getting down to the surface of things. But I think sometimes you become immune to certain situations,
Hmm.
and you think that it's all right, because a lot of times abuse is either generational
Hmm.
or it's something that a person has become accustomed to.
You may be right. I don't think this group thing is working. I think you and I need to work one on one.
No, I don't, those are private sessions. I work for the Department of,
Oh, they have to
parole.
be group sessions.
Yes. So therefore, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you to thank you for making it to your scheduled group session today. I really enjoyed talking to you too. I see positive things in the future for you. Um, Mr. Derek, I suggest that you document anytime. I mean, I'm hoping that you don't have to go through that anymore, that you could just sit down with your spouse and maybe see where she's coming from. Maybe, I don't know if there's things that she has pent up. Maybe she needs anger management. But maybe you could sit down and communicate a little bit more.
Okay.
Because the end result is that it doesn't end well. And as you see, you're here today and she's not.
Yep.
So we need to work through getting you um, complete these sessions and give a good report to the Department of Parole or Probation, excuse me. And with you, Mr. Sherman, I would appreciate it if you can go ahead and keep a log and try to avoid any triggers, okay?
Yes.
So you guys have any questions for me?
Yeah, you single?
No, that is against policy, social
No, I'm
worker.
just kidding. I have no questions.
I have no question.
Okay, well, until next week, you two have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.